Geekz, Maxusthebeast is here, and welcome to another little commentary video. Now guys, you might be seeing the gameplay here and be like, oh boy, it's another one of Maxusthebeast's thoughts video. This is gonna be interesting. No, it's not another one of my, well, it kinda sorta is, but not about a game this time. Just a little heads up, this video is gonna be a bit on the long side, as there's gonna be a pretty major topic that is gonna be discussed. It's something that has been happening recently and has been taking the world of Steam by storm. So I think it's worth noticing and calling out. So keep in mind, if you don't have the time to watch a 30-plus minute long video, then maybe just take it in chunks. And just a heads up that it's going to be on the long side. And with that being said, let's get into the topic. Tonight's topic is review bombing. This is something that's been happening among different game communities in the last few weeks, especially in the last month. It's been more popular, with games like Firewatch and PUBG being the two major games that are being review bombed. Now, if you guys don't know what review bombing is, it's when a group of people go on Steam or on any game website, and they all just and just hordes of people just start giving a game negative reviews just to try to get their point across, whether it's legitimate gameplay issues or if it's a developer screw over or for other reasons as well. For the reasons why Firewatch and PUBG were review bombed, I will get into that later. And I will talk more about my personal thoughts on review bombing towards the end of the video. Let's first of all talk about why some of these games were review bombed, shall we? Let's start with Firewatch. Firewatch, if you don't know, is a walking simulator where I'm not entirely sure about the game's plot because I haven't personally played it and have taken literally no interest in it. But it's a walking simulator, and it does tell a story about a wildlife ranger, park ranger type thing. I'm sorry if I'm ill-informed, I just don't particularly care about the game. But recently, I'm sure most of you who are watching this know about the whole PewDiePie controversy, about him saying a very racist word on stream while playing a game of PUBG. And of course the internet gave him crap for it. And that whole incident is for another time. However, the main developer of the game decided that he wanted to, because he disagreed with what PewDiePie said, like many people did, but he decided to try to take action about it. He wanted to literally literally get PewDiePie's YouTube channel taken off of the site, which of course people did not like, as sure, what he said was wrong, but it's not a reason to get. But one word is not a reason to get him kicked off of YouTube, which is what this developer wanted to do. So, in retaliation for it, PewDiePie's fans either had already purchased the game or purchased it just for the sole purpose of review bombing it. So they could tell the developers, hey, we do not like you trying to take our favorite YouTuber's channel off of the site for literally no reason other than the fact that he said a racial slur. Which, yes, it's not good. However, it's not worth getting kicked off the site, as channels like iDubbbz and whatever get away with it. Doesn't make it right, but they get away with it. And freedom of speech. That's YouTube's based in America, so freedom of speech, we have the amendments, our First Amendment rights. Anyway, the whole PewDiePie situation's a whole topic for another day. But people review bombed Firewatch because of the whole PewDiePie situation. As like I said earlier, review bombing is not always about gameplay issues, or because a bunch of people have issues with a specific feature a developer added or removed. It can also be things about morals and about things that they personally like or dislike about the developers. As some games have been review bombed that the people who review them haven't even really like done anything with or have no problem with the game itself. They're just going on every game they can find that is made by a specific publisher or developer that they don't like and review bombing it so the developers will get the point. It's, like I said, I'll get to more of my thoughts on the whole thing myself later, but that's essentially what's going on. Firewatch, before the whole review bomb, had about 82% positive reviews on Steam, which is pretty good. It's very positive. It's not as high as it could be, but hey, it wasn't bad. Now, the game is mixed and has 51% positive of recent reviews, which was around 2,000 reviews in the last month. That's not good for anything, for any game, to have that negative, such a negative response in such a short amount of time. However, it did what it wanted to, which was to show the developers that they're not going to sit around idly and let their favorite YouTuber get taken off the site because of the developers' personal views. It got their point across. And that's what they were trying to go after. Now, another game that's been getting review bombed would be Fallout 4, which, for quite a while ago, had 20% positive reviews. That is horrible for any game, regardless if it's AAA or not. That is a new low for anything, especially a title as big as Fallout. And the reason this was getting review bombed was because players were not happy with the way Bethesda was handling mods. They were essentially bringing back the whole paid mod controversy that happened last year, which did not sit well with the community for obvious reasons. So the community decided, we're going to just review bomb Fallout 4 and see if Bethesda will notice. Bethesda being a greedy company, more than likely, noticed that their game wasn't getting good reviews, but I don't think Bethesda has really done anything super different other than keep community workshop open, whatever. And that would be a crime if they forced their new system or program or whatever and remove the workshop from their games. That would have been an outright crime, but thankfully they had enough sense to keep workshop and whatever. But that was one of the bigger ones, as Firewatch, it's an indie dev, right? It's either just one guy or a small team of people. However, Bethesda is a large corporation, so having it review bombed like that, especially on a game like Fallout 4, which was one of the biggest games Bethesda's ever released, that's some considerable damage right there. Hopefully Bethesda gets the memo. Another big game that's gotten review bombed, as I mentioned earlier, was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now this is easily the most debatable of all of them, as you could say, okay, so the whole Firewatch and Fallout 4 thing, that was justified as people were upset with the developer for being an idiot and messing with stuff he shouldn't be messing with, which is PewDiePie fans. And the whole Fallout 4 thing, people were upset because paid mods, which is a good thing to get upset about, because no one wants paid mods. It's unjust, not right. But this one is more debatable. Alright? So, recently a bunch of Chinese players review bombed PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds because of server issues, as apparently the servers in China are so bad that the Chinese had to switch over to American servers, which of course gave them terrible ping issues, because we're an entire continent away, and of course that distance is going to cause your connection to be kind of messed up. And since the Chinese servers are so full of hackers, so full of just plain out issues, they didn't want to put up with it, but doing it over to America, it gave them ping issues. And while Blue Byte Studios, which if you don't know guys, is the development team behind PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, while Blue Byte Studios promised China their own dedicated servers, their own regional servers, they never really delivered. So that, of course, got people in a huff about that issue, and people didn't like it for obvious reason. So they decided to review bomb the game. To me, this one was more of a useless review bomb, as the developers were already well aware of their issue and they were planning on fixing it. But the review bomb just came out of pretty much frickin' nowhere, even when the developers were actually doing something about it, or were trying to do something about it. So that one to me is more unjust. The other ones, yeah, I get why they happened, and it makes sense, and I'm fine with them. This one is more debatable, however. And I don't know, maybe you guys see it differently, but I see this more as a debatable topic, as, you know, they came over to America servers because crappy connection, I get it, and crappy servers. But, yeah, but Blue Byte Studios was already planning on fixing the whole Chinese server issue, or Asia servers, I should say, because it's not just Chinese people who are having those issues. It was like, excuse me, pretty much the entire continent. Which is pretty bad if you ask me. But, again, with that review bomb, that one's more recoverable. As, at least with that, you know, the developers can do something to change the game. And they're already proactively doing so. They're changing what they did wrong and trying to win back the trust of their Asian customers and Asian players. While some like Firewatch let their own personal bias get in the way of their decision, which is never a good thing, especially for someone who's going to be developing a game and active on social media. Sure, people would be biased on social media a lot, but that doesn't mean if you're going to be trying to like promote something that you should be biased about it. No. And I understand having opinions, and okay, we're just going on all sorts of tangents right now. I'm sorry. But this one has been, this review bomb has been just highly debated about whether it was just or not. To me, it wasn't really, but let me in the comments below, let me know what you think about the whole Chinese situation. And no, I do understand that how bad the whole situation is with Chinese servers, and I do believe that they deserve better. They deserve better server quality, but like I said, Blue Byte was already working on improving the servers. It's just a question of when it's going to happen. And here we go with more of my own personal thoughts. My own personal opinions on the matter. As I do feel like I need to express my thoughts on it. As this is a my thoughts video, I need to tell you guys what I'm thinking. To me, review bombing needs to have a good reason. I am fine with it if it's trying to point out a dev that doesn't know what they're doing, or an idiot dev, or anything like that. I'm fine with people review bombing those type of situations, trying to prove a point. The PewDiePie one was unjust. The PewDiePie one was just. The whole Fallout 4 thing was just, as people were trying to point out flaws and get their point across. So in that sense, review bombing is a great tool to show developers that we're not putting up with this crap. We're going to make sure you guys know that we are not happy with the service we're getting. And it's good that they were able to get their point across. Because sometimes that's just what it takes. Is for them to have just someone swarm their review section with crap. So they will say, oh, what are we doing wrong here? And most of these reviews have specifically said, I'm review bombing this because of my personal beliefs. And in fact, let me pull up some PUBG ones now. As you can see, the review bomb has definitely taken its toll. from what used to be about 70% positive, 70-some percent positive, has gone in recent times has gone to 44% positive in recent, and this is due to the whole Chinese thing. Same, and that of course has lowered the all reviews, even though there are still some dedicated fans on the game, including myself. That was I seriously calling it Blue Byte? I'm sorry, it's Blue Hole, not Blue Byte. And then there's some people who are legitimately angry about an ad thing, which has literally no effect on the game. It's just literally... It's literally main menu only. And I think this is a Chinese issue, as is advertising a special kind of connection thing that Blue Byte attempted to go through. Blue Hole attempted to put through, which was one of the reasons why the whole review bomb even happened. But I think they decided to change it because of all the crap they've been getting. And there's also been issues with people getting accused of being a stream sniper, which in most cases is not true. And yes, I do think it's very bad that streamers can just dominate these kind of situations. Say, "Oh, he's stream sniping me." No, he's not. He's just a regular player. Just somebody I just got salty with. Some of these are not review bomb attempts. These are more just like negative reviews in general because of issues. Here you go. As a Chinese player, here's the whole Chinese thing, which is like I talked about earlier. So yeah, these are definitely negatives. Feel free to pause the video at any time to read these. I'm going to click on view more as, or read more as, on as many of these as possible, so you can stop and read these. I'm not going to read these out loud myself. Feel free to do so yourself. Or if you have Steam, you can go to the review section of PUBG itself and look at it. So, back to my thoughts. So as I said earlier, review bombing, to me, it would be justified if there's a good reason for it. Like the examples I gave and showed. So, it can be a very useful tool to try to get your point across to some nasty devs. Or some devs who made a major screw-up, such as Bethesda or Bluehole. Ha! Got it right this time! However, there are situations where it can be abused or used incorrectly, such as, there are other situations where it was used incorrectly. This is another example of review bombing. This one's also just because they're calling out broken gameplay mechanics, which is on the game Life is Feudal Forest Village. Yeah, stutter. I just thought I'd find another example of slight review bombing. But like I said, I'm fine with review bombing as long as there's a just reason. If it's an unjust review bomb because of a personal one-time bad experience for you, then that's pretty biased and not worth giving the game review or enlisting people to review bomb a game because you had a personal bad experience, while other people may not have had that experience. That, to me, is a case of unjust review bombing. Now, if it's, like I said, something like Bethesda trying to make you pay for mods, then, yes, review bomb the crap out of that. But if it's just something as simple as you just being bad at the game and enlisting friends to give the game negative reviews because you can't do well, that's an example of negative review bombing. As it might be on a smaller scale, as unlike this Chinese situation, but people can still enlist friends to review bomb, which is pretty cray-cray. I know, I hate that term too. I don't know why I used it. I suck. I know I'm trash. Don't rub it in. I already know who I am. I already know I'm garbage. But, so, in my opinion, review bombing is good, if it's used correctly. Otherwise, it just leads to a mess, and will lead people who are looking at the game to either believe, hey, this game's either a piece of crap, the developers did something shady, or people are just being idiots. And when looking at negative, most people, if they click on the game and see that it has mixed or negative reviews, will more than likely avoid it. Unless it's something that they personally have been wanting for a while and are willing to see past any potential flaws. But in most cases, if they see a game with negative, or even mostly negative, or mixed reviews, they will most likely try to skip it and go on to something else, as, you know, no one wants to get a game that no one likes. So sometimes these review bombs can hurt the game's will hurt the game sales, yet it will also hurt those who don't have the problems at all, in situations like the whole Chinese situation, as there are plenty of players like myself who don't have the whole ping issue, and only have ping issues when their internet decides to go out, which is like me, but I'm not going to blame Bluehole for it because they can't control my internet. Only I can, and only my service provider can. And I got crap internet. That'd be like me blaming Macy's for not having a sale low enough. I know that's a terrible analogy, especially since I don't even shop there. That was a horrible analogy. But I think you guys understand where I'm trying to come from, and let me know your thoughts about review bombing down below in the comment section. And if you did agree with this, please be sure to leave a like on this video, as each like means a lot to me as a person, means a lot to me as a YouTube channel, as I want to share my thoughts with you folks. And when I first heard about this whole topic, I'm like, I need to express my opinion with my subscribers, because they will, if they have not been informed prior to this, they will need to be informed about this from someone that they can trust. Which, hopefully, you consider me as someone you trust. Anyway, guys, that being said, thanks for watching this video, and I'm sorry if this has been a bit on the long side. I warned you at the start. So, that being said, thanks again for watching, and if you did enjoy it and did agree with my points, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thoughts on review bombing, and let me know of other games that seriously got review bombed. Please let me know, as I would love to be informed further in this topic, as I feel right now as I'm decently informed, but you can always learn something new, right? So please keep me updated, especially if it involves situations like PUBG and stuff, which is a game I follow personally. So please look out for that. Anyway, guys, if you are new and you enjoyed the video that you saw here, so much so that you wish to see content that is similar to it, consider hitting the subscribe button for future content, and the notification bell beside the push subscribe button, so you will be notified whenever I upload. As apparently, since the whole YouTube glitch is kind of coming back to life, apparently, I have to beg people to do so now. Great. So be sure to push the notification bell, so not only will you be sure that you're subscribed, you will also be notified whenever I upload another video that you may be interested in watching. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, Maxusthebeast is out.